Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff. This is our daily lectionary readings for Monday, July 10th, 2023. With it being Monday, we are looking back on what was at church on Sunday. Our psalm reading is Psalm 131. Our Old Testament reading is split. Jeremiah 27, 1 through 11, and then 16 through 22. And then our New Testament reading comes from the book of Romans, chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. Let us listen in. Psalm 131, the message. God, I'm not trying to rule the roost. I don't want to be the king of the mountain. I haven't meddled where I have no business or fantasized grandiose plans. I've kept my feet on the ground. I've cultivated a quiet heart, like a baby, content in its mother's arms. My soul is a baby, content. Wait, Israel, for God. Wait with hope. Hope now, hope always. Our Old Testament reading, starting with Jeremiah 27, 1 through 11. Early in the reign of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Judah, Jeremiah received this message from God. Make a harness and a yoke, and then harness yourself up. Send a message to the kings of Edom, Moab, Ammon, Tyre, and Sidon. Send it through their ambassadors who have come to Jerusalem to see Zedekiah, king of Judah. Give them this charge to take back to their masters. This is a message from God of the angel armies, the God of Israel. Tell your masters, I'm the one who made the earth, man and woman, and all of the animals in the world. I did it on my own, without asking anyone's help, and I hand it out to whomever I will. Here and now, I give all these lands over to my servant Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. I have made even the wild animals subject to him. All nations will be under him, then his son, and then his grandson. Then this country, time will be up, and the tables will be turned. Babylon will be the underdog servant. But until then, any nation or kingdom that won't submit to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, must take the yoke of the king of Babylon and harness up. I'll punish that nation with war and starvation and disease until I've got them where I want them. So don't for a minute listen to all your prophets and spiritualists and fortune tellers who claim to know the future and who tell you not to give in to the king of Babylon. They're handing you a line of lies, barefaced lies, that will end up putting you in exile far from God. I myself will drive you out of your lands, and that'll be the end of you. But the nation that accepts the yoke of the king of Babylon and does what he says, I'll let the nations stay right where it is, minding its own business. Continuing in verse 16. And finally, I spoke to the priests and the people at large. This is God's message. Don't listen to the preaching of the prophets who keep telling you, trust us. The furnishings plundered from God's temple are going to be returned from Babylon any day now. That's a lie. Don't listen to them. Submit to the king of Babylon and live a long life. Why do something that will destroy this city and leave it a heap of rubble? If they are real prophets and have a message from God, let them come to the God of angel armies in prayer, so that the furnishings that are still left in God's temple, the king's palace, and Jerusalem aren't also lost to Babylon. That's because God of the angel armies have also spoken about the temple furnishing that remain, the pillars, the great bronze basin, the stand, and all of the other bowls and chalices that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, didn't take when he took Jehoiakim, son of Jehoiakim, off to Babylon exile, along with the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem. He said that the furnishings left behind in the temple of God, in the royal palace, and in Jerusalem will be taken off to Babylon and stay there until, in God's words, I take the matter up again and bring them back where they belong. Our New Testament reading, Romans chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. But God's angry displeasure erupts as acts of human mistrust and wrongdoing and lying accumulate, as people try to put a shroud over truth. But the basic reality of God is plain enough. Open your eyes, and there it is, by taking a long and thoughtful look at what God has created. People have always been able to see what their eyes as such can't see. Eternal power, for instance, and the mystery of the divine being. So nobody has a good excuse. What happened was this. People knew God perfectly well. But when they didn't treat him like God, refusing to worship him, they trivialized themselves into silliness and confusion so that there was neither sense nor direction left in their lives. They pretended to know it all, but were illiterate regarding life. They traded the glory of God, who holds the whole world in his hands, for cheap figurines you can buy at any roadside stand. So God said, in effort, if that's what you want, that's what you get. It wasn't long before they were living in a pig pen, smeared with filthy inside and out. And all of this because they traded the true God for a fake God and worshiped the God that they made instead of the God who made them. The God we bless, the God who blesses us. Oh, yes. And this ends our readings.